Hi everyone, it's Bethany and I'm working on creating a little bag that I can place my face mask in when I am not using it. So this idea has been floating around and I've seen this idea done and I thought it was really cute, so I wanted to recreate it and do something similar for myself. So I have a few little items in here that we are going to use to put this little bag together. So I got this little bag on Amazon. It came in a pack. There were a lot in there, so I'll link it below. It's a really nice little bag, and I think it's the perfect size. It has a nice little zipper closure up here. And then also I have a little pattern HTV that's really pretty. I haven't used this yet and I've been really excited to use it, and I think this is going to look really nice. And I also have another solid piece of HTV, and this is a nice bright pink, so I thought this would look really good together. Then I have my weeding tool. We'll use the Cricut Joy, so I went ahead and got my mat out because I'll be putting some standard size materials on that, so we'll cut that down so we can use any type of material we'd like to put through the Joy. I don't know if I mentioned my weeding tool, but I have that. I have my little polka dot heat press mat, and then we're also going to use the little 9x9 EasyPress to press the design onto the little bag. Other than that, I think we have everything. If not, I'll place everything in the description box below the video, so be sure you're always checking that out. And make sure you're subscribed because we have so many more fun things coming up. I can't wait for you guys to see the September content calendar. It's so pretty, and I've actually started recording most of the videos for it. All right, let's go ahead and hop into Design Space. I'm going to go ahead and measure my little space so I know exactly how much space I have to work with. Okay, so it looks like I have about 8 inches by about 6 inches to work with. So we will use those measurements, hop into Design Space, and get our little design all ready to go. Okay, so now that we're in Design Space, I'm going to come over to Images, and then I'm going to come up to the search engine, and I'm just going to type in face masks, and a lot of options come up. They have a lot of really neat designs for them. So I'm going to actually use one of them that's at the top, and I'm going to use this. So you can pick whichever one you would like. I'm going to use that one and go ahead and insert image, and then I'm just going to drag it over here. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my shapes, and I'm going to grab a square, and I'm going to recreate the size of my pouch. So I'm going to unlock it because it won't be a perfect square, and then I'm going to come up to my width and say 8 inches and my height at 6 inches. And then I can go ahead and make this white, and then what I'll do is bring this to the front and place it right on my little pretend bag. So I'll size this up, and we'll say we'll do just about that looks pretty good to me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my name on here. So what I can do is I can come over to the text box. I'm going to come up to the fonts, and I'm going to search for Feather. It's a really pretty font. I think I got it on Font Bundles, so I will try to link it below in the description box below. It's a really pretty font. So I'm going to just say Bethany. And then if you notice, the font is not connected, and it's intended to be a cursive or a script font. So what I'm going to do is you can either come up to line space and just decrease the line spacing here, but I personally like to just ungroup the letters, and then I just drag and connect them where I want them. And this is personally how I like to do it, but you can do it however you would like. This allows me just to do it in a custom way if I want to do something different, like not connect the T and the H right here. And it's just a little bit easier for me. Okay, so I'm going to connect these. Okay, so I'm just still kind of tweaking this how I would like it. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I am going to highlight all of them now that I have them all in place where I'd like them to be. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to weld them all together. That way they are all one cut again, and they will cut just like this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this down here, and I'm going to size it down just a little bit, and I'll place it right on my little design right here. Okay, so this is going to be that floral design, so I'll just kind of place this in a blue color, and then this is going to be my hot pink, so I will make this a pink color. I think this will look really nice. I'm pretty happy with my sizing, so what I can do is I can go ahead and click on this rectangle. I can come over here to the layers panel and just hide that because I no longer need it.
The Joy is already selected, so I can go over and click Make It. And then on this screen, we are going to say on the mat because we are cutting down any material to place it on the mat. Click Done. And now what we're going to do is we are going to go through on each individual mat and we are going to mirror our design. So I just clicked on the mirror button on each one, and now we're going to click Continue. I'm going to select Everyday Iron-On for my material, and then we will go ahead and load our mats. It's going to call for the pink mat first, and then it's going to call for the blue second. So I'll use the same setting for both, and we will get cutting. Okay, so now we're on the heat guide, and what I'm going to do is look at the temperatures that I need to press my little design on my little pouch. So I'm going to do Cricut EasyPress 2. I'm going to do the Everyday Iron-On first, and then I'm going to do 100% cotton. And by first, I mean I'm just looking it up first, so this is not necessarily the pressing order. Okay, so for the Everyday Iron-On, we're at 315 for 30 seconds, light pressure. Then we're going to flip and press it again and do a cold peel. So now I need to go up and I need to look up my patterned iron-on. So I'm just going to go patterned iron-on. I'm going to say 100% cotton, EasyPress mat, and apply. And then this is 340 for 30 seconds. And then we're going to flip it and do a cold peel again. So I'm going to do this patterned iron-on first because it requires a higher temperature. So we will start there and we will get to pressing.
Okay, so I was looking through my scrap bin and I have an even smaller piece of that pink that I can use. So it's a wonderful project for scrap material because you're going to be using smaller pieces anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just place that. Now what I'm doing is I'm placing it shiny side down on my mat. So there's an obvious shiny side and there's an obvious matte side. So you want to make sure that you do the shiny side down because that's the built-in carrier sheet. And that explains also why we mirror our image. So I'm going to place that right on the mat here, open up my Joy, and I will auto feed that in. Okay, so what I did is I actually went into Design Space and I made my mask a lot bigger because it was looking like it was going to cut a little too small. So what I did was I went ahead and in the bottom left-hand corner, I unlocked it and then I just increased the height of the mask, and you guys will see that it's a lot bigger than it was originally in Design Space. So just FYI. So now what I did is I placed that pattern side down on the mat. So it's pattern side down, and we will send this through the Joy and get it cut, and we'll get it weeded and pressed. So while that's cutting, what we will do is we will turn on our EasyPress. We are going to preheat it to 340, and we will preheat the time, or set the time to 30 seconds, and we'll get this preheated for our patterned iron-on that will go down first. Okay, now this is all done. Okay, I'm really happy that I went ahead and sized this up because it was just going to look way too small, I think. I think my measurements were just a little bit off on that. Okay, so I'm just going to cut off my extra iron-on. That way I can save this in my scrap bin. So I have that ready to go for a different project. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in really quick. We can weed these out and get them ready to press. Okay, so I'm just trimming down my little pink piece as well to save some extras in my scraps. And we will start with this little piece first. So now what I'm going to do is just take my little weeding tool and poke a corner and just get it started here. And weeding is just removing any part of the design that you do not want in your final project. So the background, the first step. Okay. I really, really like this font. I'm using it in another project that's coming up. It's just a really pretty script font. So now you're just going to go through and get all the little middles out. And in script fonts, you'll have to be careful and make sure you get all of them because sometimes they're a little tucked into little unique places. So I'm just collecting all those little pieces and getting them all weeded. Okay, so that looks like everything has been removed. I'll double check it, but there is my little name here. Yes, it's probably easier if you see on white there. Looks good. Okay, so I can just set that to the side. And now, EasyPress is all ready to go. That always preheats so quickly. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my little patterned iron-on. I'm so excited to use this pattern iron-on because I have loved this forever, and I have just not thought of a project quite yet to use it on, and then this was the perfect project ever. Okay, so I'm just going to take all the little pieces out. I think I have one more piece right in here. Okay, so now you can use this as a bag that you can use these in a variety of ways. So you can use this as a little bag that you are going to place your clean masks in only. Maybe you can make a mask only for clean masks and then a bag only for masks. If you have a reusable mask, then maybe you can have a bag for masks that you need to wash. So you can do a variety of different things with these. I just like the idea of having a place in my purse where my mask can be when I'm not using it, because sometimes I throw a bunch of stuff after I leave a store, which, let's be honest, I've been out of the house probably 2 or 3 times since March. But the couple times that I have, once I got back to my vehicle, put my mask in my purse, and then sometimes you throw a bunch of other things in there, like your receipt or your wallet, and I just don't like things that just touching my mask where it's going to be on my face. So I just liked an idea for placing my mask in a separate area. So anyway, run with this idea however you would like. Again, you could differentiate pouches for clean masks or masks that you need to clean. So I just like this idea. Okay, so this is how it's going to look. I think it looks really, really sweet. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it ready for pressing. I'm just going to remove all of my little scraps from my area here, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, so I just removed my floral craft mat because I don't like pressing on top of it, even if it's on a heat mat as well. It just gets a little warm. So what I'm going to do is I am going to preheat my material here. And I think this is the direction that I want I have my zipper here open, or now it's open. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and preheat my material. And really just about 5 seconds just to make sure that we don't have any moisture in there. Okay, and so the iron-on that is patterned is going to go down first because that has the higher temperature. Then we'll cool off our machine and do the other iron-on, just the standard iron-on. Okay, now the pattern iron-on is not sticky, so if you wanted to, you could place some heat-resistant tape on here to get it from not moving. I'm just going to make sure that I like the placement of everything really quick. I think that's how I'm going to want it. So I'm going to place this right here. Okay. And then I'm going to take my press, place it right on top, and I'm going to press go. Now what I did is I avoided the seams. So this zipper up here, I made sure to place my press below it because I don't want to place it on top because it'll give me an uneven press. Plus, we don't really want to just put our press right on that metal seam. Okay, so I'm just pressing. And then what we're going to do is it wants us to flip it over and press again on the back. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do all of that together at the end. So I'm going to remove the press. Looks really good. And then I'm going to cool down my EasyPress. So I'm going to come up to the temperature button. And I believe it was 315 for just the regular everyday iron-on that didn't have the patterns, this pink piece. So we'll let that cool down for a second and then we'll press the final piece. So now remember, this is a cool peel. So a trick that I do is I take it off of the heat mat because this retains a lot of heat, and I set it on a cool surface, and that helps to draw the heat out of it a lot quicker. And it's really hot. I even kind of burnt myself there just a second ago. So make sure that you're really careful, but you can really feel that heat being drawn out of it. So it's cooling down a lot quicker. So if you're in more of a crafting rush, which sometimes we are because we have limited time to craft, and you want things to cool down quicker so you can move on to the next step, then just make sure you put it on a cold surface. It really helps. Okay, so that is already cool. So all I can do is just grab this sheet and pull off at an angle, and we are all ready for our next layer. Okay, so I'm just going to place really quick my little piece here, make sure I know where I would like it. And that is perfect to me. And that cools down very quickly. I'm also going to just place my protective layer right back over my pattern iron-on just so it's protected. Then I'll bring my press in and I will go ahead and press down. Okay, so everything's turned over and now I'm going to press for 15 seconds on the back. So we'll just do half the time. It just really ensures that everything is in its spot. Okay, so now we'll just let this cool and we will peel it off. Okay, so now that this is cool, we can just go ahead and peel both of those layers off. And what you do is when you're peeling off iron-on, you're just making sure that none of the pieces are coming up when you pull off that transfer sheet. And if they are, what you'll do is just take this piece again, place it right back over your design, and repress for a little bit longer, and that usually does the trick. All right, there's the final look. I hope you guys like that. I think it's really cute. Again, you can open up, place your little mask inside, and then it's a nice, cute little storage option for when your mask is not being used. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please be sure to give it a thumbs up if you think this turned out really cute, and I will see you all in the next video.